This documentary tries to answer the question, did cracking the German Enigma code in World War II have an impact on how the war was won by the Allies, and how did Alan Turing lead the UK in the cracking of the code? Before we try to answer that question, we need a historic perspective. Countries, states, and kingdoms have always tried to keep secrets using codes and ciphers. Using codes and ciphers is called cryptology.
The definition of cryptology is the study of codes or the art of writing them and solving them. Cryptology is used everywhere today, but the basic concepts were actually developed in ancient times. The Greeks and Persians used cryptology in the Greek and Persian War using a hidden messages inside a normal candle. The Romans developed what they called the Caesar cipher, which had a disk, and when you turned the disk, it made different letters. Like if I turned 13 times from the letter A, the letter would be M to communicate secret information. Queen Mary of Scots used cryptology to communicate her plans against Queen Elizabeth I. This cryptology method used a series of symbols to represent letters in the alphabet. Queen Elizabeth's decoders broke Queen Mary's symbols code, and because of this she was imprisoned, then executed for treason. The Nazis in World War II used a revolutionary new form of cryptology, the Enigma Machine. The word enigma means hidden, and that is exactly what the Nazis tried to make their war plans, hidden. The Enigma Machine was originally developed for business purposes. The three-rotor model was made by Arthur Schubert. This model was later modified by the Nazis for use in war. There were different types of machines like A-type, C-type, submarine type. The A-type was the first Nazi model and had 6 rotors. The type C had 5 to 12 rotors and was more complex and widely used by Nazis. The submarine Enigma machine was the most complex and also had 5 to 12 rotors with the reflectors, so they had to decipher the code, then write all the letters backwards. The Enigma machine worked like a typewriter, except that its output was encrypted. The Nazis believed that the Enigma code was unbreakable because there were 15 to the power of 18 possible code settings. The breaking of the Enigma code began with the Polish Cipher Bureau. 3 Polish mathematicians, Marian Rejałowski, Henryk Zygalski, and Jerzy Wolski, pioneered the breaking of the first Enigma machine. They were able to receive an Enigma machine that was mistakenly mailed by the Nazis and intercepted by Polish security. By using the intercepted Enigma machine, a schematic was developed, and by using it along with French information from their spies and using mathematics, they were able to discover a method to break the code. The French spies recruited Hans Thilo Schmidt, a former officer, and his brother Rudolf Schmidt, who secured a post at the German Army's cryptographic unit. They offered to supply information about the Enigma machine and supplied the French intelligence agents with an Enigma manual, opening instructions, and key lists. The French cryptologists were not able to do much with this information and later supplied it to the British. They also provided the information to the Polish, who with their own efforts were able to make some progress. In 1943, Schmidt was arrested and died in prison a few months later. The same team of Polish mathematicians also created a machine called the Bomba, which helped decode early Enigma messages. Just before the Germans invaded Poland, the Polish bomber was destroyed to keep it from landing into the Nazi hands. At the same time, Marian Wojciechowski provided the British with Polish research and a set of sketches for their bomber. The Polish were wise with that decision, so the British could continue the work for the breaking of the Enigma code. Alan Turing was a brilliant mathematician and the key mind behind breaking the Enigma code. Alan Matheson Turing was born on June 23, 1912, in Maida Vale, London, England. In 1936, Turing delivered a paper and made a sketch of what he called the Universal Turing Machine. If you don't know what the Universal Turing Machine is, it is a machine that made a series of ones and zeros. This machine was actually the beginning of computer science and coding. Later, in 1938, Turing got his PhD for mathematics and cryptology from Princeton University. Then he took part in the government code and cipher school that taught code breaking. He began working part-time for the British government's code and cipher school before the Second World War broke out. After his education was complete, he worked at the top-secret facility at Bletchley Park in England, working on the Ultra Project, which was created to break the Nazi Enigma code. Alan Turing was a huge factor in the Enigma Project. He and Gordon Welchman created a machine called the bomb, not to be confused with the Polish bomber, which was a much less capable machine. The bomb was a complex mechanical machine used to decipher the Enigma code. Alan Turing had to work without a bomb for quite some time because it had to be manufactured, and to manufacture something that complicated, it took a long time. It would be easier to manufacture something like that today, but this was in the 1930s/40s. The name was diverted by the bomber, a similar Polish machine. Deciphering the Polish bomber became useless because the Germans discovered the weakness in the Enigma machine and corrected the flaw. The Turing bomb was modified using a technique invented by Welchman, which significantly simplified the deciphering. Without the bomber and the bomb, the Nazis' Enigma-coded machines couldn't be deciphered in time to be of any value to the Allies. An interesting fact is that all of those operating the bomb machines, were women. The attempt to hide secrets from other countries and kingdoms have been around since the beginning of time. Cryptology has advanced over time, but the invention of the Enigma machine and its use by the Nazis was a major advance in technology. This advance was offset because the Nazis were arrogant. They believed that the Enigma machine was unbreakable. Nazis were also careless. They reused keys, made mistakes in repeating the original messages several times, and even added Hail Hitler at every end of every message, so code breakers knew at least 6 letters out of every message. The Nazis didn't protect their secrets well either, as they let spies find critical information. All this led to a Nazi tragedy in intelligence. The Allied triumph started with the Polish and what they learned about the Enigma, like intercepting a Nazi Enigma machine in the mail. They used this machine to create a schematic of the design, discovered flaws in the design, and created the bomber to aid in deciphering the code. Also, French spies recruited several Nazis willing to sell secrets about the Enigma, such as Hans Thilo Schmidt. The final triumph was achieved at Bletchley Park, where Alan Turing, Gordon Welchman, and other scientists created the bomb to quickly decipher messages. Winston Churchill called the cracking of the German Enigma code the secret weapon that won the war, and Winston Churchill was right.